Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is all about the long bob, the lob. InStyle magazine has labeled this haircut as the haircut that works on everyone. You've seen this haircut worn on many celebs such as Jessica Alba, Emma Roberts, Karlie Kloss, Taylor Swift. Even Khloe Kardashian is now wearing the lob. So I'm going to share with you one of my favorite ways to style the lob haircut. This technique is going to give you a little bit more volume and texture in the finished result. Before we get started, let's talk about what you're going to need to create the look. I'm going to be using this Paul Mitchell Pro Tools Express Ion Unclipped, and it's a 3-in-1 set. I'm using the 1-inch rod, and it also comes with 2 different sized cone attachments. Next, you'll need just a couple products. I always like to start with a thermal protecting spray. This is Paul Mitchell's Hot Off the Press. And you're just gonna start out by taking the hot off the press and spraying it throughout your hair to protect the hair from the heating elements. The next product I'm gonna be using is this Blow Pro Dry Texture Spray. And this we're gonna use at the end to just give that hair that finished bit of texture. You'll also need a brush or a comb. I'm using a brush. This brush is made by Sheila Stotts, and I love this brush. And then finally, you're gonna need either clips or an elastic hairband. And I'm gonna use an elastic hairband. It's just easier. I always have one handy. Okay, so when I style my long bob, I separate my hair into 3 different sections, or I should say I work in 3 different sections. You may need to do more than that if you have thicker, fuller hair. We're going to be working from the bottom up to the top, alternating the direction of the curls. I always like my top section to go away from the face. So if I'm doing 3 sections in total, I need to know where I need to start. So if the top section is gonna go away from the face, that means the middle section is gonna come towards the face, and then the bottom, which is the very first section we curl, is gonna go away from the face. I think with this type of style, it just looks a little bit better if that top section goes away from the face. So there's just a little trick for you to figure out where you wanna start. Now, the reason that we alternate the direction of the curls is because that's gonna really intensify the texture as well as give it a little bit of volume. So now that we've discussed all of that, let's get started. A quick little tip when you're styling for this technique, you don't want to curl all the way at the root, and you also don't want to curl the ends. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just gives it more of a complete curled look as opposed to a looser texture. So you'll just take the iron, point the tip of the iron down, and at about the halfway point, you'll wrap the hair around the iron and leave out the last bit of the ends. And it doesn't necessarily need to sit in there too long, just long enough to create a little bit of bend. If you do want a little bit more curl, then you can just leave it in a little bit longer. And this 1-inch iron is typically a good size for the lob haircut. Okay, so this is the second section. This section we're gonna do towards the face. Okay, the second section is complete, and now we're gonna work on the top. Again, this is the last section, so this one's gonna go away from the face. Okay, so that was the final section. Now we're gonna take the Blow Pro Dry Texture Spray. And I really love using the dry texture spray, especially when I've just washed my hair, because since I do have a finer texture, my hair can be a little bit soft. So the dry texture spray really kind of gives it like a day-old feeling. If you do decide that you want a little bit more volume, you can go in and tease it. I usually add a little bit just in the crown, and I just do a tiny bit like in the back, just to add a little bit of lift. So that's it, that's the final look. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and look for me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you next time.